All right. Hi, welcome to Fried Gold. I'm Dan.
We'd have to do that again.
How are we starting then?
Welcome back to the channel. It's Matt and Dan here, and it's time to talk spoilers for Toy Story 4. So I think the biggest thing we should talk about is the ending. And whether this sets up any potential future films or if this is the end of an era of sorts.
You know, it seems pretty final, but who knows? They might do a fifth. I mean, no one thought there'd be a fourth, so they could do one, but it doesn't. It ends very sort of, finally. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Woody's story, and I think, to be honest, they don't need to bring him back if they even do a fifth film. The whole point of this character arc is basically him growing up and realising he's done his job. Just like Andy doesn't need him anymore, now he doesn't really need to keep working effectively for kids anymore, so he goes off and does his own thing with Bo Peep.
So in terms of the villain, Gabby, her motivation is that she doesn't have a voice box, so no kids want to play with her or buy her from the antique store. And so basically she tries to sort of kidnap Woody and steal his voice box, I guess. So I get the motivation, it's good. It's a new, interesting problem for a toy to have in the series. But yeah, like I said in the other review, I just didn't find her that menacing or that threatening.
She's probably the most interesting villain they've had, but not completely original.
Do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, Sid was just a complete asshole. Who was the villain in the second one?
It was the guy in the box, Mr. Prospector.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever he's called. He's called Stinky Pete, isn't he? Yeah, he had a kind of decent one, which, like, basically if Woody joined them, then he would not have to live in his box his whole life and he'd go to a museum and have a purpose kind of thing. But I still think Lotso's probably the most interesting. I mean, you know, you get a bit of backstory with him when he got thrown out by, was it Daisy?
Yeah, but they could have just repeat that for this film. They had to do something a bit more, like, it's not original, is it? But it has to stand out among the other three films that they've done.
Yeah.
Like, something they haven't touched upon before, so I thought it was an interesting
choice. It definitely was an interesting choice, yeah. Because you never really, other than Wheezy, when they throw him out because his squeaker's not working, you never really think about them being broken as such. I mean, there's that time when Andy doesn't take Woody to like cowboy camp because his arm rips off. But yeah, it's an interesting new problem for a toy to have. I thought hadn't really been explored in that much detail before.
Another thing we should talk about is probably Forky's evolvement over the course of the film, and how he starts not wanting to be a toy or being, well, almost in denial. He basically just keeps saying, "I'm cutlery. I belong in the bin." And so over time, he does develop like these responsibilities that a toy would have towards its owner, I suppose, even though I'm pretty sure like at some point it just kind of happens, maybe a bit too quickly. Like he jumps from like being extremely against it to all of a sudden being like, ooh,
well, I mean,
I need it.
Yeah, I mean, he sort of changes his opinion when Woody explains to him what it means to be a toy, doesn't he?
Yeah, they have that conversation where they're walking towards the trailer park, but even then, like, he's still kind of against it until Woody says, like, one line and he instantly flips 180 and then he's all aboard.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, oh, I get it now, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. Like, you know, maybe if he had, like, seen the reaction of, like, Bonnie. Maybe if it was Bonnie who, like, showed him how much, like, he meant to her, rather than Woody saying that one line and him going, like, oh, I'm needed now.
Now we can get into specific plot points. When they go to the antique store to try and rescue Forky and stuff, and they're with Bo, I thought that was going to be like one scene, and then there would be some other thing they had to go do, like, you know, another stage of the adventure. But then, like, the whole rest of the movie takes place there, and I kind of found that a little bit disappointing, a bit. Like, I don't know, I didn't expect it to be like the majority of the film took place in the antique shop. I thought it'd be like a scene.
I thought they had some potential of maybe bringing out, like, you know, all these old styled toys, like, from throughout the store. But apart from that one scene where they go to find Duke Kaboom in, like, the underground, like, party room or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You don't really see any of the other toys besides the ventriloquist dolls.
No, you don't.
Around the store at all. It's mostly just old furniture.
Yeah, it would have been a good opportunity for them to sort of harken back to, like, you know, dolls from the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah, they could have just, like, been a bit creative.
You could have had one shot with just them all on a shelf or something, but
yeah. But like, I guess I know why they didn't do that, because that probably would take ages to style. And
Well, that, and it's not necessary. It would have taken it. It would have almost been like just blatant fan service, wouldn't it? When I say I expected it to take place in multiple locations, you think back to Toy Story 2, and they have to get to Al's toy barn, but there's like the sequence where they're crossing the road, and then there's the whole stuff in the shop when Buzz gets replaced, and then there's the whole kind of action sequence in the is it in the lift?
yeah,
Like in the elevator vent thing, and like there's all these separate sequences that lead to it, rather than it all just taking place in one location.
I think because it was just in one location when they finally got out, it was then really quick in like summing everything up and like tying it all together.
Yeah, that I think one of my biggest issues. I feel like all I've talked about is things I didn't like. I really like this movie, but it's just easier to talk about the things that stick out to you are usually the negatives, which I guess that's just how it is. But one of the things I didn't like that much was the ending. Like, I love the idea that Woody finds his purpose and he separates from the gang. I think that's a really ballsy move, but it was over really fast.
If anything, this wasn't the ending as much as this entire film was almost like an epilogue.
Yeah,
Like one of the Lord of the Rings endings. It was like it fit into that section where like
dude,
the main story was past, and now we just need to like summarize what happened to our
they
characters.
could totally have like a Toy Story cinematic universe and just have like an ending for each character. Ken and Barbie just go to a beach house and just shag it.
And then Wheezy shows up out of the blue, just like,
They're wheezing too. Yeah, so Duke Kaboom, Scene Stealer McGee, really funny character, absolute show off, even though he can't actually do anything.
no.
But the reason that he's actually like that, you find out, is because he's kind of this damaged character, and he had this owner, Réjean, I think it was.
Réjean! I'll do it for you, Réjean.
Who he was disappointed with Duke because he couldn't do the stunts like they do on the adverts. And so there's sort of a hidden, like an extra layer there to him that we didn't really want to talk about in the spoiler-free review, just in case.
That was the best bit of the film, wasn't it?
What?
Where he finally makes the jump and then he just fucking face
yeah,
the side of that ball.
I thought that, I saw Jeremy said it in his review as well, but I fully thought that his head just came clean off in that. And then I was almost disappointed when I found out that he didn't, because it was so funny. And then you're like, oh, it's just his helmet. That was funny. But yeah, that was a good... Because again, like there's a lot of themes in that movie of like embracing who you really are and not being who people expect you to be or whatever. And Duke Kaboom just embraces the fact that he crashes rather than lands, and that's how they get out. So yeah, that was it added to the theme as well. And yeah, it was just it was a good scene.
Another thing I liked was is it Bunny and Duckies' involvement?
Oh yeah.
Because when the first trailer dropped, the teaser trailer, and they were kind of center point, weren't they? And I thought they'd maybe overcrowd this film a bit much, but they are literally just in it for the occasional bit of comic relief, and it works.
Yeah.
Like, they're not overshadowing the other characters like the main ones. They're just kind of like the side characters, if anything.
Yeah.
They're not in that many scenes, but the ones they are in, I think they were funnier than they had any right to be, I'd say.
I don't know. I don't think they were like complete scene stealers or anything.
No, but I'd say they probably made me laugh just as much as Duke Kaboom, but Duke Kaboom's definitely the more memorable.
Yeah, I think they're... It's not like you really sympathise with them, or there's no depth to them or anything, really. They are... Yeah, they probably are the funniest characters. Like, the biggest laugh in the film was when they're doing that. I can't remember what they call it, but you know, where they're sort of saying about how to get the key off the old lady, and it jump... You know.
Oh, they keep jumping to flashbacks where
they just like...
They basically fucking assault the old lady.
Yeah. Like, that was they were the biggest laughs in the film, and they were funny.
Yeah.
But what I quite like as well is I like the design of them. You know, like we watched that video of like how Pixar's animation has progressed over the last 24 years or whatever. And like you look at the designs back then and there's like a lot less texture, a lot less detail and stuff. And now it's probably not even that much of an issue for them. And like the bright colours really pop as well. And like they have a good job of making all the toys look different. Like, you know, that's what I always appreciate about Monsters Inc. as well, is the character designs. Like, you don't really see two that look the same. Like, it's a really diverse... Like, it must be difficult to do that. And, you know, it's good that they... And something else as well that I appreciate is they could just quite easily use real-life toys as sort of product placement. But they don't do that. They create their own original ones, which I appreciate. Oh, I suppose they still get sold, so it's not like they're avoiding money by doing it, but you know what I mean. It'd be very easy for them to just go, oh, here's some AirPods. They're conscious now.
Stick some googly eyes on them and watch them dance.
It looked like a fucking giant sperm cell, wasn't it? Spunky.
I need to take a moment.
Yeah, so obviously in this film we find out what happened to Bo in the first place, why she wasn't in Toy Story 3. And basically Molly sort of outgrew her and they were all going to go to daycare or something, and she was like, nah, I want to go out and explore. And like something that surprised me about this film, again, that I'd never thought about in a Toy Story film is you always assume that all toys have owners, but in this you find out it's kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
Like so many toys are like, oh, you've got an owner, you're lucky.
It makes you think about it, especially like, even though not a lot of toys are lost per se, like some of them are literally just chucked. And like you don't know where they go, you just hear someone say, oh we got rid of them. Yeah,
and I mean it makes sense, because in real life, think how many toys are going to be in a bin somewhere, and if they were sentient, they would just crawl out of the bin and go have a life somewhere. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, overall, I really like this film. It's got great animation, it's a heartwarming story. It's a nice, like you say, it's almost an epilogue to Woody's story. They have just come out and said, Pixar, that they're focusing on only original films from now on. Excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I can't wait to review the Forky TV series.
Oh shit, yeah. Fuck that.
Nice. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be bringing more content out very shortly. It's a slow start, but bear with us. You can like the video and subscribe to show your support. It'd be much appreciated.
We do have an account on Letterboxd as well. It's Fried Gold Media. So make sure you follow that. We're aware that everything's not perfect at the minute. We're working on getting the production value up a bit. We've got someone designing a logo for us right now. We're going to pay someone to animate as an intro and outro and stuff like that. We're still working on the mics, but that quality will improve. But yeah, just bear with us. We're working on it every day. And yeah, be sure to like, share, subscribe if you want to see more of this. That really helps out. See you in the next video.
Until next time.
Peace.